Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Time for the Great Okra Challenge. Get your okras ready. I'm just kidding you. Because the Great Okra Challenge is not necessarily about the okra itself, but it's about farming and farmers and finding a new way to engage your children in the excitement around agriculture and so. But it's been handled by the Future Farmers Think Tank Caribbean. And the man behind that is Zachary Moore. He joins me. Zachary, good morning.
Morning, thank you for having me.
Good, you're very welcome. We've been telling people about this Great Okra Challenge for a little while now, and they're eager to hear from you. What is this about? But before we get to that, tell me a little bit about the organization Future Farmers Think Tank.
Yes, please. So the Future Farmers Think Tank charity is a youth-led agricultural organization, and the goal is to facilitate the youth development within the agricultural sector, looking at some of the issues, looking at some of the challenges, and seeing exactly how we could collectively come to solutions and also facilitate projects and provide the opportunity to hire young persons within the industry.
You formed this because you believe there's a problem.
There is a problem. This was actually a project initially called the Future Farmer Project, looking at some of the barriers to entry within the agriculture industry. And then the spin-off was bringing together a group of young persons who were passionate, engaged, and willing to make the sacrifice and the impact for the development of the industry.
Is it difficult finding those young people like-minded as you are?
Definitely. Agriculture is not the mainstay within Barbados and the Caribbean to that degree, so it is challenging, but we find that there are people who have a curiosity, an interest that you just gotta, you gotta work on it.
So we have this image of agriculture as a dirty endeavor, as in you get your hands muddy and messed up and somehow you go home all sweaty. But that's not necessarily true, because there are different tools and techniques now and different kinds of farming. Are you exploring that within your think tank?
Yes, please. That is definitely what we're trying to do. There's a level of innovation that's already happening in the industry, and we want to be there. We want to be at the cups of the innovation, and that's what we're trying to do with the charity, looking at software development to, using art to tell the story that's farming in Barbados.
And so how do you measure the success so far? How do you do that?
Yes, please. What we measure right now, research and data collection is one of the mainstays. That's the challenge within the industry, collecting good data, and that's how we, measure our growth and our success. How much books do we donate? How much do we engage with the young persons? With the platform that we're developing. How much, farmers do we increase market access to? So, definitely measuring our progress is important.
Can I, the average Barbadian, see the work that you do?
Yes, please.
How come so?
Instagram, we are always on Instagram, Future Farmers BB. That's where we currently are. And then we have a YouTube channel called Future Farmers. And you could definitely see our work there. And
you take this, what's the cohort of young people? What ages? We
are looking at 13 to 35. That's the main,
the age range that you're looking at.
Yes,
and
please.
is it a practical experience?
Yes.
Or are we just sitting on talking about plans and strategies?
No. We do a lot of that already in the country as is. I know it has to be sustainable. A lot of the projects within the industry is very project oriented. It's for a time and then people move on. The goal is sustainability, and you need organizations that are grassroots organizations to provide that sustainability. So it's very much hands-on, and it works towards maintaining, making sure that young people stay within the industry and providing ways to do so.
And one of those ways to do so is this book, The Great Okra Challenge. I mean, just the title alone captures your attention, and you just want to get involved. So tell me, whose idea was it to challenge oneself with a Great Okra Challenge?
It was a collective effort, honestly. We came together, we were brainstorming. Susan Ford, our writer, we would have hired her to come in. Our illustrator, Tyler Walkup, he's like 17, doing amazing work. And, it was a collaborative. We was like, what should we name the book now? And he was like, The Great Okra Challenge. I mean, it was like, what? Yes, definitely.
But why? Why the Great Okra Challenge? Why couldn't it have been the Great Golden Apple Challenge or something? Why the okra?
Cuckoo and flying fish. You know what I mean? Cuckoo is,
you get what I'm saying? Cuckoo?
Exactly. So okras is a part of the Caribbean diet, and we wanted to highlight it and showcase it and give it its flowers, you know what I mean? And within this industry, when I was farming, I grew a lot of okras. That was the only thing that survived the monkeys, to be quite honest.
Seriously?
Yes, I was able to give the monkeys some and still had enough to sell. So, you know what I mean? Okras is wonderful. They're versatile. They're, you know what I mean? They're strong, like a good plant. Yes, please.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
And so you're challenging in the book young people, children from childlike age all the way through,
Yeah.
to take on this challenge to grow more okra.
Yes, please, to engage with the okra, to be curious about the process of how it grows. We got stuff like companion planting within the book. We talk about worms in the book. We want kids to be curious about the world that is agriculture and nature. You know what I mean? As we expand in terms of the urban sprawl within Barbados, a lot of people aren't going to be connected too much to land and farming. I wasn't. A lot of us wasn't. So it was like, you know what I mean, how do we, reconnect and engage with nature? And this is just a start to build the curiosity for the kids.
Well, since we're urbanizing, and
Yes,
you went there,
please.
you, the body who brought this up, how much space do I need to plant my okras?
You need about a foot of space.
A foot is your shoe.
Yeah, you need a foot
That's
of
all I need?
space. That's all you need, and a bucket. You can use a bucket. A bucket is like 12 inches of space. And we would have done that recently through the Ashley Foundation. We had some schools called the Growing to Mars Harvest, and we did wicking beds in buckets, and you could grow a single okra plant. It's that easy.
One okra plant in that bucket.
Yes, and okras will keep
grow
it coming.
fast.
Yeah, they grow fast and they produce fast, and you can harvest. If you got one okra plant per household, you would never want okras again. You would
For the
get
rest of
tired
my
of
life?
okra. Not for the rest of your
Okay.
life, but you would get tired of them because they're reproducing fast.
The reason I ask is because with the banana tree, you cut it, you have to prune it for it to spring again. And you don't have to do that with the okra tree?
Yes, you can do that with the okra tree. Usually in normal agricultural production, you just pull up and go again. But if you want prolonged harvest, yes, you can cut and it comes back up again.
It's
Yes,
that
please.
resilient.
It's that resilient. I did it.
And so you're teaching from the book, the Great Okra Challenge, not just engaging with the okra alone, but how agriculture works.
Yes, please.
And sometimes you need to water, sometimes you don't need to water because some plants are hardier than others.
Yes, please.
That kind of thing. How easy is the book for children to navigate?
So it's 8 to 11. That's the age range that we was working with, and it's pretty easy. I know kids right now at 6 are learning about the water cycle and the carbon cycle. So I was like, wow, I didn't know school. So it is pretty easy for the kids to engage with, and there's a lot more in terms of illustrations. We want to bring to life what is the culture and the story in farming.
May I have one of those,
Yeah,
please? Let me just
definitely.
leaf through this book and see, as old as I am, if this child can understand it. And in this whole ecosystem, you're engaging things like the birds,
Yes,
because they
please.
also have a role to play,
Yes,
the bees
please,
and the
the
like.
bees.
So talk to me about, in this storytelling, what else were you exploring, not just in terms of the actual planting, but how the whole agricultural ecosystem works?
Yes, please. One of the things that we were exploring is obviously climate change in terms of heat. So there's a mention to the heat and the kids looking at the clouds. But we also looked at, tempering in terms of emotions. How do you interact with the environment and manage your emotions? Some emotional intelligence is involved as well too. It's not at the forefront, but is in there, is engaging, is showing kids how they move from not understanding the environment to learning and progressing and changing behaviors as they learn more. So Layla in the book, she was afraid of worms initially, but then she learned the benefits of it. Now worms are your best friend.
She's a good girl.
Yes, please.
Chapter 2. We climb up into the tractor to get going and are soon bobbing up and down, but we enjoy our bumpy ride.
Yes,
and so for a lot of people, having that farm experience, that countryside experience, as a country boy, I know what I'm talking about here, that is like magic, because suddenly you're riding with the adults and you're having the same experience. And we are finding ourselves fast as a generation not allowing our children to have that experience anymore. And so, but you think we need to bring it back?
Yes, please. I think it's a privilege to have access to land and be able to grow food. I think it's a privilege that we're losing, to be quite honest.
Yeah. On page 10, it shows how to plant a seedling.
Yes,
1,
please.
choose a planting pot, dig a hole. 2, remove the seedling from the container. 3, place the seedling in a hole. read the rest of the book. That's the point. But it gives you
Yes.
instructions as to
Yes,
how to do it
please.
in very simple
Detail.
ways,
Yes,
so that
please.
even the child can engage. And that's the whole point.
Yes, please.
The whole point. So where can we get copies of this book?
Right now, you can get it from us, the charity, directly at Future Farmers BB on Instagram, or you could give me a message at 843-4511, and I will deliver it directly to you. You know what I mean? We're going to be going out to the schools and doing some readings as well
Gonna
today.
ask that, yes.
And today we're going to be going to St. Lawrence, Lawrence Tigay, our first school, and then we're going to be going to like 5 schools within Barbados.
So LT Gay, they're coming to you today. Did you know that okra is one of the main ingredients of the Barbadian national dish cuckoo and flying fish? Did you know that NASA has included okra in experiments abroad and aboard the International Space Station? Did you know that okra fibers, especially from stems and pods, can be used in biodegradable packaging? Did you know? And did you know all of those answers are right here in this book, The Great Okra Challenge? I challenge you. I really sincerely challenge you to get a copy today. Not just read it for fun and for pleasure, but read it to try it. To try it. To have the children try it as well. And it just takes a little bucket.
Yes, please.
To have your one plant.
Yes, please.
And then forevermore you're an okra farmer. That's the whole point, right?
Yes, please.
To love agriculture, to love of okra, to love just seeing things grow and blossom, to feed oneself and to feed one's family. That's what this is all about. The change is with you. But the change starts with you taking on the Great Okra Challenge. See the book? Get the book. And again, remind us all to get the book.
Yes, please. You can get us on Instagram at Future Farmers BB, or you can contact me directly at 843-4511 on WhatsApp.
843-4511, WhatsApp him, Zachary. 843-4511. Someone called and want to know if I eat okra. If I eat okra, listen, the best way for you to provide me with okra is to fry it.
Yes,
Have you tried it?
Yes, I have tried it.
Season it well and
Fry
fry that
it.
okra.
Yes,
and I'm
please.
telling you, you have a meal. It is so delicious. Absolutely delicious. Yes, I'll eat it otherwise as well, but it's really, really good. Forget the slime. That's part of the pleasure. Indeed. And so that's it. Someone wants to see me take up the challenge.
Yeah.
Listen, I have a story to tell you, Zachary. Thank you.
Yes,
I
please.
bought a plant. Father, forgive me. And you know, I was told it doesn't need a lot of water, just need a little bit of sunshine during the day, that kind of thing. Not a lot of sun, and it should grow. This is 2 weeks, the plant is dead.
Sorry.
Me too. I am so sorry. It was a beautiful plant when I bought it. It no longer exists. So I'm not a green thumb kind of person, but maybe you are. So I wish you well in taking up the Great Okra Challenge. Zachary, thank you so much.
Yes, please.
To you and your future thinkers, farming thinkers, I wish you well.
Thank you.
And I really hope that this really penetrates our society in a very meaningful way, and that more and more young people understand the value and the benefit of agriculture. It is not the thing you see on the shelf, it starts on the ground.
Yes, please.
And that's where you're doing it.
Thank you
Thank
very
you, sir.
much.
All
Yes,
the best. All right.
Hey guys, and today we're going to be doing something very fun. We're going to be planting okra from seed. That's right, it's very, very simple. And all you're going to need is a pot with some soil, rainwater preferably, but if not, regular water from the tap can work. And of course, some seeds. So the first thing you're going to do, you're going to moisten your soil to prep the bed a little bit. So just a little bit of water, not too much to drunk it out. So here comes the fun part. Now we're going to plant our seeds. So the pot I have can fit in 4 little seeds. But guys, I'm just letting you know now, when they start to sprout and get really big, you will have to transplant them into a bigger container or directly put them into the soil. So here I have 4 seeds. I'm going to lightly cover them over, just gently, just like that. And then afterwards, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to add a bit of water to get them a little bit more moistened. Now remember, I did add water before, so this is just a little bit to moisten these seeds. And that's it, guys. We're just gonna wait until they sprout. Thank you guys so much for joining me today. Join us on this okra challenge. I want to see you growing your okras.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.